It's not vanity. It's about strategy. Hey, Chris Zuiker with Media Options. We help companies to acquire their raw, unfiltered version of the brand name. That's domain acquisitions and brokering some of the best domain names on the planet. So check it out at MediaOptions.com. Check out ChrisZuiker.com. I do a daily podcast there as well, some other information. But hey, my topic today is this. It's not vanity. No, it's strategy. Okay, big difference, big difference. When I first started out in domains, one of the things I heard was, "Hey, listen, we don't have the budget for vanity domains." And it was interesting because it was 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and I didn't know how to deal with that. I was like, "What? Like vanity? Like, what are you talking about?" And it threw me off at first. But once I understood domain names, once I understood the impact of domain names, the strategy to conversion, to positioning, to leveraging, I realized that their view on this was just completely false. Like this view that domain names are vanity. Now, they can be vanity, depends how you purchase it, depends how you use it. But in general, domain names are strategic assets. And what I'm specifically talking about here are category defining domain names, okay? Domain names that define a category. So you think of like bigdata.com, you think of contentmarketing.com, you think of, let's see here, what I'm brokering lately. I got a couple that I can't mention, but diamond.com, right? Category defining domain names that define a category. And so there's this thought because of SEO, because of maybe your branding agency that now that's just a vanity. Like we're going after our domain name. And I want to give three thoughts for you on why that's wrong and why it's about strategy. Okay, so the first thought is category defining domain names signify leadership. They communicate to the message, they communicate to your investors, to your customers, and to your employees that we're doubling down. We're going to own this keyword because this keyword represents what we do. Okay, so diamond, for instance, I mean, you look at the diamond producers, you look at the people selling diamonds. It's like, hey, this is a large part of our business. I mean, probably well, depending upon the company, it could be like 50% of the business, 75% of the business, 10% of the business. I don't know. But there's with some companies, it's a large part of the business. It's what they do. Think of like a big data, like that represents your business, or content marketing that represents your business, or reputation management that represents like the essence of your business. Like crystals.com, you name it, there's category defining domain names that are out there in every category. But it signifies leadership. And an example of this would be Northwest Mutual. They own lifeinsurance.com. Now, if I went to them today and said, listen, hey, would you sell it to me for $1 million? They'd be like, go, like, get out of here, go. How about 2 million? How about 20 million? They wouldn't do that. And why would they do that? Because it represents the essence of what they do. I mean, they have built their business. They do probably billions of dollars. I don't know how big they are, but they're big and they're like 200 years old or something ridiculous. But life insurance is the essence of what they do. Leadership. Now, I want to say last year they weren't using that, but they've recently launched a new website under lifeinsurance.com. And that's going to actually kind of go down to my next points here. Actually, my third point on scaling, but it communicates and it instills this confidence in your investors and your employees that, listen, we're doubling down. We're not going anywhere. And we're going to own the messaging here. Okay, so the first one is leadership. The second one is leverage. Now, think about this. If you look at a domain name like a diamond.com, how many millions of dollars are marketed around diamonds? I think De Beers does like $300 million a year or something crazy. So what does that mean? What that means is that there's momentum for that keyword. And when you own that keyword, you can leverage that keyword. You can leverage the momentum of all the other brands that are out there that have diamond in their name, that have that are marketing for diamond, and you can capture a certain portion of that. Okay, the market rewards. First of all, the market rewards leaders, and as far as leverage goes, you're tapping into this momentum. You're leveraging it. You're leveraging the goodwill in the market. Now, look at it like a Bitcoin.com. Like, think about what that meant to their business. Tremendous, huge, massive. Leverage. How can you leverage that? How can you leverage the goodwill that's out there? And the beauty is that like no one is going to talk bad about like a diamond.com, right? And no one's going to talk bad about most of these because that's the core of what they do. And so you're buying that to leverage it, leverage the goodwill, leverage the momentum. And once again, I mean, imagine the difference between a company that owns the category defined domain name. Let's say like a surveying.com. It's owned by Seco, SECO. E has a little dash on it. So I think it's Seco. But they own surveying.com. Now imagine going into to a contract and saying, listen, hey, like we're this brand. We also own surveying.com. We also own diamond.com, or we also own this domain name, right? Your industry.com. It opens doors. Okay. You're leveraging the goodwill. You're leveraging that leadership. You're saying, hey, listen, we are, you by default get a massive amount of trust, and trust leads to brand equity, and brand equity leads to loyalty, and loyalty leads to increased revenue and increased profits because you can charge more money. Okay, last point is this, scaling. And third point is scaling. It gives you an option to scale. Bold moves equal bold rewards. Like what is your strategy to scale? Like how aggressive are you looking to grow? How aggressive is your competition looking to grow? Listen, if they're more aggressive than you, chances are they're going to scale faster than you, and they're going to have a strategic advantage over you. Now, I talked about this is my podcast this morning on how like Neil Patel, he has like 3 different brands. I think he has more than that, but 3 different main brands, right? So there's Neil Patel, there's Kissmetrics, and I'm blanking on the third one. But he uses multiple brands, multiple locations to come and interact with him. Now, each of them has a different focus, I imagine, but there's different, he's trying to basically like get the most amount of spots on the front of search. Different ways to go after the different customers, different segments. We talked about I did a blog with photo.com and how, if you look at like the stock photos, I mean, like there's like 3 companies that own pretty much all the major brands in that. So what's your option to scale? Now, if you think about the category defining domain name, you think about leadership, you think about leverage. I mean, it's the perfect opportunity sometimes to scale your brand with another property, the property that brings and feeds your main brand, that feeds lead generation. Here's what I do know. Strategies come and go. Your strategy will change. I know this because over and over again, I have people come back to me over, maybe I haven't talked to them for a year, and they say, hey, Chris, hey, is that domain name still available? Is it still for sale? Listen, their strategy changed. They saw this in a new light. And I talk about this journey of really understanding the pain, whether it's email security, whether it's global positioning, industry positioning, marketing, branding, or ability to pivot. But at some point, their strategy changed. They said, hey, now, you know what? We need to own our domain name. We're looking to pivot. Like that's interesting again. Strategies change, but the opportunity to control this domain name, this may be the only opportunity. And there is scarcity to it because once they sell, they get locked away forever. They're never going to be available. Now, you think about the instance with Northwest Mutual and life insurance. They're never going to sell that. Never. One last parting thought here. If you're a startup and you think about these 3, leadership, leverage, and scaling, sometimes a category-defined domain name is, especially if the industry is saturated, the category-defining domain name is your way to come in and to disrupt that category. Disrupt it by basically taking over and leveraging the goodwill that everyone else has built up, the goodwill around the keyword for that industry. I can think of a couple different, well, I'm gonna leave it there, okay? Great opportunity. So there's reasons why you need to own it. There's also risk, there's reward, there's keeping it from the competition. If you're $1 billion domain name, it's about hoggling up the resources, right? Taking on and accessing all the resources. But think about these 3 key areas today: leadership, leverage, and scaling. And hey, if you haven't already done it, if you find any value in this, share this video up. I appreciate that. Also, go to chriszuiker.com. You can download my book, .com Strategies. It's on mediaoptions.com also. And check out Media Options. Check out the domain names that we're brokering over there.